Welcome back to Steve Robb Reviews. Today I'm going to show you how I'm going to make a raised bed for vegetables. And I've got a whole bunch of equipment behind here, not all of it, but probably most of it. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it and the reason why. The main thing I like to talk about is the products that you use when you're making a raised bed may affect the vegetables that you put in your raised bed. I'm not a chemist, I'm not a microbiologist or any of these things, but for me, I don't know whether pressure treated wood safe to use, not safe to use, any other types of woods, that are treated somehow. So I'm going with what I think is right. I got some products here I'm going to show you, and this may be interesting for a lot of you that have never built something like this before. And some of the tools I'm going to use, unique tools, invented tools. And come along with me and I'll show you what I got planned. But first I'll show you the tools. I'll show you the pressure treated wood that I'm going to be using. And then I'll take you out in the backyard and I'll show you where this is going to go. And we'll start from there. Well, the best place to start is I got them pieces of 5/8 rebar. I've got some of this... what do you call that stuff? It's border edging material. It comes in a 60-foot length. And I got this material right here. A lot of you probably never thought about using, but we'll get to that. Got some 6-inch nails, tape measure, caulking gun, and I'm going to try this new construction adhesive. Now this here is my new invented tool for driving in these spikes. If you haven't seen that video before, I just did it a little while ago. I'll put a link down below if you're interested in seeing how you make one of them. And we're going to test it out for the first time very shortly. Okay, so I got my hammer tacker and I've got a whole bunch of these. I'm not too sure if you guys even use these or seen these before, but I'll be using these as well. And that's pretty much it. And I'll show you the wood that I'm using next. Well, there you go right there. That's my 4x4 pressure treated posts. That's just going to be for the base so far. I'll show you how I'm going to build that in a couple of minutes. And I figure I'm going to need, you imagine I'm going to need roughly 20 of these. And each one of these are about $12 each. So I'll show you what it looks like in the backyard and what I got planned so far. And then we'll come back inside and we'll start doing some cutting. Well, here we go right here. Here's the spot that the raised bed's going to go. And it's going to go from about here all the way over, and it's going to be 8 feet long. The inside of the box is going to be 23 3/4, and you see right there I've got one of these interlocking stones. I'm going to level it all out. I'm going to put the frame of the 4x4 posts on there so they're off the ground. You do not want to put your 4x4 posts directly on the earth or they will not last too long. So let's get to it. Let's go back in the shop and start doing some cutting. Well, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to finish doing all the cuts. I'll bring you over to the sawhorses and I'll show you me gluing them up, clamping them, and then we'll start driving some spikes in with the homemade tool, and I'll bring you back then. Well, this is the setup right here, and all I do is I'm just trying this new construction adhesive. I'll do a full review on that in the future, but yeah, I just put some on here like this. You don't gotta go crazy, but I'm only putting this on the first layer. There we go. And then I get my little putty knife. Just kind of smooth it all out. Now a lot of people, you know what they do? And I found that it doesn't work very good, is they just like to put like a big circle in there and then just jam everything together. Well, I'll tell you what, that don't seem to work for me too good. Not too sure if it works for you guys or not. But I'm going to butter the other side up. Then I'm going to show you what I do next. And then we'll have to let this cure. And then we're going to stick them nails in, hell or high water. Well, there she be right there. I scraped off as much as I could on the outside and the inside corners because she was oozing out pretty good. And so there's the other two pieces for the next row going up, and there's the little piece in the end there that is just a scrap piece. And you could see here I cleaned out the corners here too, and yeah, she's oozing up pretty good. So I'm gonna have to let that set up first, but what I'm gonna do is stand this whole thing up, because you know what, the bottom side is probably oozed out too. I'm going to stick to my my sawhorses. So okay, I'll bring you back when this is all dried. Okay, let's get the post pounder out. Well, all I've done is drilled through the first 4x4, not all the way because my bit wasn't long enough. It was about 3 1/4 inches. And I just tacked the 6-inch spikes in there for now. And let's see how it goes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the first side, both of them. And then if this, if this new invention of mine actually works, I'll turn it over and I'll just go right straight through both sides. But the first time I thought I'd drill it first and see how it goes in. So let's take a look. I'll zoom you in so you can see exactly what's going on. Okay, here's the first one. Let's go. Wow! Okay, I'll show you the other one. Ready? Nice and flush too. Okay, take a look what just happened. Now this is about 18 hours later, and so when I went to flip this over, it completely separated. Now this is kind of dry here, but the outside edges are not. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna put a little bit of caulking on there, then fire in a nail. But so far, I'm not too sure I like this stuff. So let's get to it here. Well, there you go right there. As you can see, I put some construction adhesive in. It's just oozing out a bit. Now I'm going to try and put this in right straight through both. Just start it off there. And hopefully that does not move. So, okay, here we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, let's do the other one. Okay, you ready for this one? Let's go. Great, nice and flush. Look at that. Well, what do you guys think? Guys, this is the cat's meow or what? Now, I did go back to my container of PL that I have, and it said allow up to 48 hours curing time. So I'm going to have to do some better testing on this Red Devil construction adhesive, because it might have been my fault, because I started this at around maybe 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and it's 10:30. So maybe it didn't have enough curing time. It might be my fault, but I'm going to phone them and ask them exactly how long it takes to cure. But you know what? I think this is still a great success. Now, could you imagine having to put in 70 of these things? You know, swinging away with a hammer. So, and yeah, I mean, you can make yourself one of these for a 12-inch spike or 8-inch, whatever you want. And I'm pretty sure I got an idea how to make this multi-purpose for all the different size nails. So yeah, I think it's a good idea. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get all the area that I'm going to put this platform on ready to go. Get it all level so I can just take this, bring it out there, and then I'll start assembling it all. And I'm going to be using all these products here, and you're going to see how it's all going to come together. So stay tuned for that, because that's coming up in the next clip. Well, there we are right there. That's the foundation. She's all leveled up. You can see where I put the interlocking stone on the bottom. Yeah, you want to keep this off the ground, because if you don't, them 4x4s won't last long. So you can see how what I'm going to do is put one in between here now. The next one will go all the full length. I want to show you something in the back here. I made this, see if I can get in there without overshadowing everything. But I made that pipe connector down there. So it's lag bolted in, and it's going to come up the fence, and that's going to be another planter, just like that one there is going to be. So it's going to come out, and you can hang plants off it or whatever you like, a hummingbird feeder. So I'm going to start doing this more. I'll build it up. You'll see the retainer here I'm going to have for the fence, and it serves also as a plant hanger. And I'll bring you back when I got more done. Well, I got more done. Let's take a look at it right here. This is the total height that I'm going to have here, and if you can notice, I got them clamps. And as you build it up, of course, you want to clamp it down, and that's another reason why you want it to be off the ground. Or actually, how would you do that, right? So this is it here, and you notice the end pieces here are untreated now because they're cut. Well, on the back side is the other end of the board, so all the end pieces in the back side are all the original treated. And none of this is you're going to see. You're going to see this is all going to be refaced. And I'll show you inside here. If you noticed, I put the border edging all the way around the inside. And of course, it's behind the fence, and it goes all the way over to there. So yeah, this is the total height here. It's about 24 inches tall. And now we get to this fence retainer and plant holder. There it is right there. Pretty much same as the other one. And it just slides in that pole that I got mounted down the bottom there, just telescopes right inside, and that's easy enough. And the fence is just like super sturdy. Now I was going to put some rebar in here, and after looking at it, just by itself this thing is hundreds and hundreds of pounds. So let's get over here. This is what I'm going to put in this to line it, and it's a pond liner. And I'm going to use, you can see them little clips there that I showed in the beginning of the video. I'm going to use them to wrap it all the way around here and on top. And then on top here, I'm going to put boards, and I'm going to go with cedar. And so I'll bring you back when I got a lot of this all complete. Well, there it is right there. It's all complete, as much as I'm going to do for today. And let's take a closer look at it. Well, there we go. I just put some of them stones that were there in the first place further back. And you can see I'm going to have to take these stones and move them further out all the way along. And this is pretty well it here. And you can see where I use them special round discs to hold everything in. And the only place I used the hammer tacker was on the top when I lifted it over the pond liner, and then just tacked it to the top. And this is all cedar. And there's where you're going to hang the plants. And that's a good spot for it, so when it drains out, it'll drain down to the garden. So yeah, the whole idea behind this with putting the stones down there was to lift it off the ground and then put the border edging all the way around, so that the earth that's in here isn't going to go all the way back underneath and rot the wood out as well. So there'd be no contact between the earth. And that's pretty well it. So I just refaced it here with the front, and along the sides here, and I'll take you along and I'll show you the other one. Yeah, that's all done too, and that's a nice spot to hang your flowers. And down the bottom here, I'm gonna have another one as well, just sitting on there. So there it is right there. I hope you guys like that. And I'll just show you one thing in the garage before I wrap this up to explain a little bit more. So the whole idea behind this build was to make a raised bed for vegetables only. And that's the reason why I went with the pond liner, to keep myself away from any type of pressure treated wood, and cedar on the top, and the whole mast for the flower pot holder or the fence retainer as well is all cedar. So I'm not going to get no contamination from any place, and that's what I wanted. Now if you're going to make it just for flowers, well, you know what, save yourself a lot of money and just go everything, you know, with pressure treated, and don't need no pond liner, right? Pond liner was like 50 bucks. But this here was just terrific for me. Like, I mean, if you're 22 years old and you don't mind hammering in 100 nails, that's what it turned out to be, almost 100 nails. Yeah, you have no problem. You don't need this, but you know what? For me, my shoulders are almost 100 years old, and you know what? This was invaluable for me. Yeah, you don't need this. If you got a good set of shoulders on you and a big hammer, well, just hammer away, right? So, but for me, this is a pretty interesting build. A lot of people never seen these before, and you can buy these with, well, 500 for 10 bucks, you know, little discs. But I'm just going to show you one here up close. And that's all they are, is these little discs. Now you can buy them already done with a nail inside, and of course you have to pick the proper nail. I use galvanized nails. But yeah, that will hold it on nice, so when I'm putting the soil in there, you know, it keeps it up, keeps it retained, and you know, there's a lot of clamping force behind them discs, and I think they're just terrific. But I'll be loading it up with soil next week and put my planters out there, and I think it worked out pretty good. You guys let me know if you think you can, any suggestions on something I could have done differently, or maybe easier. But for me, this is a great little project for the spring, and something that'll last me probably the rest of my life. So thanks for joining me here today. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of a project on this flower bed for vegetables. I keep saying flowers, but it's for vegetables. Okay, you guys come back again if you haven't seen this channel before. Well, you're welcome to subscribe, and I got some more projects coming up that, well, you'll have to stay tuned for them too. Cheers.